Okay, so Anthropic just fixed one of the biggest issues with Model Context Protocol, and it's how it deals with tool definition when you connect an MCP server. Now, by default, when you connect a new MCP server, it loads the definition of all the tools that are available on that server, which results in a substantial portion of the context to be occupied by these tools without you sending even a single conversational message. And there are some worse offenders of this. For example, GitHub MCP is a good example of this phenomena. It has about 91 different tools that are loaded on connecting with the MCP server. And it used to consume about 46,000 tokens, which is almost 22% of the whole context window that is available to Opus 4.5. It's a big problem that I have mentioned in a number of my videos, but they finally fixed it with MCP tool search, which can help you substantially reduce the context used by MCP. So instead of loading all of the tool definition, now the tool search allows Claude to dynamically load tools into the context when they are needed. So in this video, I want to show you what exactly this new tool search tool is and how to use this as a developer, both if you're building MCP clients or you're building MCP server. So we already talked about what exactly the problem is. Connecting MCP servers with a lot of tools can really pollute your context window. Now, Anthropic has previously recommending using code execution that also substantially reduces the number of tokens, and it really looks for tools by treating the MCP as a file system. And this work is really an extension of the previous code execution workflow, but using two different type of search mechanisms. Okay, so here is how your context window usually looks like if you connect, say, 5 to 10 different MCP servers with, say, 10 to 20 different tools. Now, this is a substantial proportion of your context window, but with the tool search tool, you're going to be dynamically loading specific tools by looking for those rather than preloading everything. But there are some things that you need to keep in mind. This is going to be only used when your MCP tool definitions occupies more than 10% of the context window. You can theoretically get about 85% token reduction, and it dynamically uses or loads 3 to 5 different tools at once. And here's your context window supposed to look like after using the tool search tool. Now, here's how it works. So first, Claude or any client will first load only tool search tool as a single tool in the context window. When Claude creates a query, the system will search for tool catalog, and it will try to find 3 to 5 relevant tools. And after that, it will only load the full definition of those 3 to 5 relevant tools. Okay, so there are two different variants of this approach. The first one is regular expression based. So in this case, Claude writes patterns like weather or get *_data. These are best when your tool follows consistent naming conventions. Now, on the other hand, you have something like BM25, which is a keyword-based search mechanism. So Claude writes natural language queries like tool for weathers or database operations. This is semantic search with relevance ranking. Again, we are not using any embedding here. It's mainly keyword-based search mechanism. And it's better when your tool names and description vary. So you'll have to pick one of these approaches depending on whether your tool definitions follow consistent names or they are more descriptive and vary in name definitions. Okay, now let's talk about how you would think about implementation of your tools, both as a server and as a client to use them if you want to use this tool. Now, as a developer, your job is to make your tools findable. When Claude searches for tools, it needs to find the right ones. But how do we help it? The first thing to consider is optimization of your tool description. This is the biggest lever you have in your arsenal. So look at these two examples of before and after. These are two descriptions trying to convey exactly the same idea. The first one is repetitive, it's verbose and uses a lot of token. On the other hand, the second one is a lot more concise. So it's basically get current weather, forecast, or historical data. And then you're putting the functionality of this tool first, And in the second part, we simply have keywords that the system might be looking at. Now, here are some best practices for description for tool definitions. So the first one is lead with function. This should be your first sentence. Keep it to 1 to 2 sentences. That's it. Add searchable keywords like fetch, get, retrieve, etc. Synonym also help Claude find tools, and put constraints in input schema, not on the description. Descriptions are for discovery. Schema is for validation. And this is something that you really need to care about. And 5, that every word costs tokens. So be ruthless in optimizing the tool description. Now, there's another field you should know about. It's server instructions. So this is the system prompt-like field that guides how Claude is going to use your tools. So look at this simple example. So for PR operations, first check PR status and then review PR or approve it. So you're telling Claude the workflow. The order here matters a lot. When tool search is enabled, this helps Claude understand when to search for which tool. Now, as a developer on the client side, if you're building an MCP client, here is exactly how to implement tool search. It's a simple 4-step process. Okay, so step 1, you will have to enable the beta. Add this to the header of your API request. So without this header, tool search won't work. This is required at the moment. Now, step 2, add the tool search tool to your tools array. So this is an additional tool that you're going to be using, and you can select either a regular expression-based or BM25-based tool search tool. Now, one of the most important thing, you do not set defer loading on this tool. It needs to be loaded immediately. Step 3, mark your tools for deferred loading. Now, you need to add this specific keyword to any tool that you don't want to immediately load when the MCP server is connected. So this tells the system, don't load this tool upfront, load it when Claude searches for it. And this is when you're going to get the most savings on the token usage. Okay, so step number 4, keep your essential tools loaded. So not everything should be deferred. Keep 3 to 5 of your most frequently used tools without deferred loading. Now, here's how the pattern is going to look like. For essential tools, you want to set deferred loading to false. Those are the tools that are going to be automatically loaded. And then for the tools that you want to search for, you simply set this deferred loading to true. Now here, the balance is immediate access for common operations and search based for everything else. And you can do this on different tools within the different MCP servers. Okay, so here's a quick implementation checklist. If you are going to be using this, there are 8 different steps. So first, enable the header. Second, add the tool search tool, either regex or BM25. This is your choice. Then third, mark non-essential tools with deferred loading as true. Keep 3 to 5 essential without deferred loading, and optimize your tool description. Lead with function, add keywords. 6, add server instructions. This helps Claude understand workflows. 7, test with 30 or more tools. That's where you will see the biggest improvement. And the last one is that you need to monitor context usage. So you need to track this before and after. Okay, I'm going to create another video on how to do this when it's more widely available. But when should you use tool search? So if you have 10 or more MCP tools which are occupying more than 10% of the context of your agent, then you should definitely consider using the tool search tool. Now skip it if you only have 3 to 5 tools, if all your tools are frequently used, or if latency is absolutely critical, because search-based exploration will also increase the latency as well. Okay, so common pitfall that you need to consider. The first one is don't defer load the tool search tool itself. This defeats the purpose. And don't make description too short. Keyword matters for search, because something like get weather is worse than get current weather, forecast, or historical data. And third, don't keep too many tools without defer loading. If you defer load nothing, you get no benefit out of it at all. Okay, so that's it. That's the tool search tool. Go implement it. Your context window will thank you. Now, if you have any specific implementation questions about specific implementation details, drop them in the comment. I'll try to answer. And if you are building MCP tools and found this content useful, or using MCP tools, please consider subscribing to the channel. Anyways, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.